Inappropriate behavior, sexual harassment, forced resignations, all under one roof, the roof at the Statehouse. Welcome to The Spectrum. I'm Colleen Marshall. First, veteran Republican Senator Cliff Height resigned after complaints of harassment. Then, Ohio Senate Democrat Chief of Staff Michael Primo was asked to step down for similar complaints from staff members. And then, conservative Republican Representative Wes Goodman resigned after widespread reports that he was caught in a compromising position with a man in his office. It's not your mother's Statehouse. And the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House, Joanne Davidson, says it's not her Statehouse either.
Well, it saddens me to hear that. I think that most of us that have been involved have always actually thought very highly of the institution of the legislature, the institution of the House, the institution of the Senate. Been very proud about it, and actually felt good about being given the support of their constituents to actually serve.
Joanne Davidson blazed an impressive political trail when she became the first woman to ever serve as Speaker in 1995. She takes pride in the institution of the House and her time there. So the latest sex scandals with women reporting harassment.
Would you be surprised to find women who were in your peer group, women who are in my peer group, women who, are younger today, that there are few women that you can find who don't have a Me Too story?
I think that's probably true. How, of course, Me Too stories can go from here to here kind of a situation, but I think probably along their professional lives, everybody's had some kind of a run-in with a situation that they weren't comfortable in. Probably didn't get to the place that we see reported right now, but it was a discomfort. And so what you did, frankly, was plan around not letting yourself get in those situations. But it shouldn't be that way. Women should not have to worry about that. They should have to have an opportunity to feel that they are comfortable and that they are safe in an environment, and that there are people there that are willing to protect them.
Davidson says she believes the current leadership is trying to do what she did, create a welcoming environment, although she was not warmly welcomed when she picked up the gavel.
The big question, quite frankly, back then, Colleen, was whether I was tough enough to do the job. But I was also very aware that what kind of a job I did was going to have a major impression on women having an opportunity to be leaders in many other situations, and hopefully again in the Ohio House of Representatives. So it was a tough job. It was a very challenging one for me, and I tried to do what I was talking about. I tried to make it a welcoming place for people to come and feel good about what they were doing and ensure them that they had a good work environment.
She still runs a leadership academy for women. She wants women to be leaders, not victims, to find their voice and report wrongdoing, and maybe learn from her legislative victories and style, like a hard-fought budget battle, a late-night session when a newly proposed budget, by rule, was supposed to be held over one day.
So I just shut down the session about midnight and opened it back up about 12:01. So we were in the next day. But it got a little unruly, and I had to hammer them in order, and I smashed. There's always a piece of glass that you have the seating chart in front of you, so I cracked the gavel down and cracked the glass, and it flew every place. It just...
You broke the glass ceiling.
I broke the glass ceiling, literally.